Hey there, everybody. I want to be talking today about some interesting research that's going on about how to work with reactive patterns. And we just have been doing so much work with our professional group on how do you deal with reactive patterns. And so I've been sharing that with them, and it's really got me thinking about it. So I wanted to talk about this research that's going on to help you deal with it and change it. And it has to do with some of the research on what's called positive stress mindset. And we don't usually think about stress in a positive way, right? I don't know about that's true for you. I certainly didn't for me. Generally, we find stress exhausting, complicating our life, debilitating us. Yet there's this interesting research about how we can challenge ourselves to see stress in a different way. And when we work with stress in a way that we can anticipate it as a valuable resource, it actually sharpens our focus, strengthens our motivation, and offers learning opportunities. So that's what I want to go through. It's certainly been one of the many things I've been teaching and writing about over the past 30 plus years, working with people. And it's what comes up in the professional groups that I'm teaching. So I want to address it here. So let's look at why it's so important. And certainly in this moment with the pandemic, with the political environment, I know that I found myself pretty stressed. I'm sure there are many of you as well out there who found it stressful. And I can actually admit that a couple of days ago, I didn't have a positive mindset about some of the political stuff that was going on. So it really helped me to refocus on it myself. And it made me think about the research that's going on. And there was a 2017 article by Ann Casper at the University of Mannheim, who used a diary study to deal with work stress. I forget the total number of people that they worked with about it, but they had people write down in the morning. They were prompted a question about what they expected their workload to be like that day. And later on, they were asked what constructive steps they had taken to meet those challenges. And then also how they saw the challenge as a learning opportunity. And that, in some ways, is the key there. At the end of the day, they were then asked how energetic they felt. And what they found was that people were, when they were aware that they were going to have a challenging day ahead of time, and if and as they were cultivating a positive stress mindset, they more easily came up with coping strategies, ending the day more energized. We all know what it's like when we don't have that kind of. So here's the key. If you look at the day and you anticipate it being challenging and you anticipate it as a learning opportunity, that opens up our mindset. That automatically orients us to the world in a different way. Pretty fascinating stuff. Aaliyah Crum at Stanford, who studies adolescents dealing with stress, wrote an article called Rethinking Stress, and she looked at 3 different studies. And what they found is that when people and these kids believed in the potential benefits of stress, they were less prone to feeling stressed in the wake of difficult life events. So what that finding suggests is that changing the way we think about stress actually helps protect us from acting impulsively when confronted with adversity. So that was one of the major findings of that. And that's absolutely true with our reactive patterns, wouldn't you say? When we can make peace with whatever reaction we're having, we can open the door to a new way of engaging with that very same reactive pattern. The more we can identify the patterns, the more we can not only see how pervasive and persistent they are, but we begin to see a way through that can shift those very same patterns. So from a psycho-spiritual point of view, this is also relevant. And in previous videos, I've shared about the Upanishad story that changed my life and opened my heart. In a nutshell, that story from the ancient yogic text is about how at a very highest level of our soul or our self, whatever language you want to call it, we choose this lifetime, these events, these people, so that we can become free, so that we can encounter these complications and work them through. Now, so this last part is the most important part, so that we can get free, So we can release some of that stuff, right? Of course, during the chaos of life, we forget. We forget this invitation to actually grow, develop, and flourish. But think about it for a moment. What would it be like if we, you and me, all of us, we actually chose to remember that we chose this situation at some point? All right. This is directly from the research. It's a perceptual change. What would it be like if instead of being trapped in it, we said, okay, I'm here. Let me choose this as an opportunity to see something different. What if we decided to choose this life, these exact circumstances, to help us grow, develop, and flourish instead of feeling trampled on by them? Now, that's the benefit of a positive stress mindset. And this is what the current research points out, that if we believe in the potential benefits of stress in whatever way we want to form that, we're less prone to feel the stress in the wake of life's complications. I find that amazing, right? If we see things a certain way, we actually shift how we experience it. So I thought about, based on the research I was thinking about, how might there be ways that we can change these patterns inside of us and have it be different? So one of the ways that we could do it is to create a vision board or a drawing or a story even of how the stress that you're in right now could actually benefit you, right? So you're feeling a lot of stress, and it would be taking that stress outside of your body and putting it on a vision board. And there's lots of ways you can Google, how do I create a vision board? There's tons of stuff out there. You could write a story about it. In the Becoming Safely Embodied Skills, we talk about using different stories, different ways of interacting with the story so that it actually opens up the whole thing. So here's my suggestion then. Spend time with this vision board or this story or this drawing and feel the pull inside, right? They'll be like, oh yeah, that's what I want. At the same time then, or maybe a little after, just step back from that and feel the pull of your life to go into the yuck, into the stress that you're in, right? And take a breath. You're going into the stress. Take a breath and turn back toward the vision board, okay? And focus on the vision board. Let that be real, not just like out there, oh yeah, right, man, nice pictures, but actually feel what that would feel like inside your body. And then think about your life now and the stresses of your day and see how you'll deal. Refocus on the vision board. Step back. It's like you're shuttling back and forth, looking at the vision board, feeling the effect of it, looking at the vision board, feeling the effect of it inside. And think then about your life. Bring up your life stressors and just open up the idea. It's almost like you're saying, so how would I deal with this now? And see what comes up inside of you. The research shows that this can provide a greater cognitive and emotional flexibility after doing that, spending time around this. So that's one of the ways. Here's another interesting way that you could do it. This totally blew my mind. And literally, this is based on the research of Margie Kerr. I think she's, I'm not sure exactly. I think she's in the University of Pittsburgh or Pennsylvania. I'm not sure. What they studied is they had people watch a horror movie and then deal with their life. Now, I'm not a big fan of horror movies, so I don't know that I would do that. But what they did is they had people go to an immersive theater attraction. I guess it's called Scare House in Pittsburgh. So the volunteers went there, and when they were really stressed and overwhelmed beforehand, and ones that were the most stressed and tired beforehand showed the greatest emotional benefits afterwards. Go figure, right? I guess it means that when we're exposed to something really bad, it puts our life in perspective. How's that? To think about that. So then there's other research. This would be the third way, is to send text to people that you care about in one way or another. It doesn't even have to be somebody big caring about, it might be just somebody that who's going through a difficult time. And it doesn't have to be a supportive text. You don't have to be like, I know you're in a difficult time and da, da, da. It's more just you're sending a mundane text. I'm just thinking about you, right? And this is the research of Emily Hooker and her colleagues. And what they found is that these mundane texts, letting people know that they're not alone, reduce stress way more than the targeted advice, right? The supportive advice. And who knows? If you send a text like that, you might just get a text back that helps reduce your stress. So those are 3 ways that you could do it. This first way I talked about is a vision board of the story. The second way is looking at a scary movie. If that's not your jam, then don't do that. It certainly isn't mine, but I found it interesting research. It's a possibility to try. And then this other was just send some supportive text, a note to somebody, an email, pick up the phone, just saying, I'm thinking about you. You're not alone in the world. And just see what happens in you as you send that out. We know that from the research on gratitude, but also what happens in you as you offer something like that. And see what happens if you get some texts back or emails back. So I'm curious, what's your takeaway? How might these help you deal with stress more positively? What would happen if you face a stress that's perfectly designed to help you cope? And see how it can help you grow, develop, and flourish. There's a lot of noise out there. I hope you're not getting that. So let me know. Drop me an email. Let me know. Drop me a comment below so I can hear how this is working and if this research is applicable to you in your life. So those of you who know, I recently created a course for people in my professional training called Changing Reactive Patterns. And when I saw how stressed all of us are in the world with all the many different big stressors that are going on, I wanted to make this course available to you. It's only available for a short period. So for any of you who are interested, please check it out, see if it's the right thing for you. And I'll put it right here in we call this a chat box. You can find out information, resonate with it, see if it feels right. But either way, let me know how the research then traps onto your life, and then let's see what happens. All right, everybody. Great to talk to you. I'm Deirdre Fay, and I look forward to sharing more applicable research to help your life grow, develop, and flourish.